And I'd like to welcome all of you to our January Comlink meeting, and also welcome those that are online to our meeting. I do say that if you do ask a question tonight, would you please talk into one of our microphones that will get out to you so that people at home can understand what the question is on it. As we start all meetings, I'll introduce our board. We have Irma Marcia, George Collins, Evangeline Goronsky, and myself, I'm Carl Benninger. And thank you. As we start every meeting, we'll start with a pledge of allegiance. Irma, could you please lead us in it, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a part I hate about getting old. I used to have Hawkeyes. Now I can't go too far. A couple things I want to mention first, and that's the fact that Comlink, like a lot of folks, were influenced or affected by the pandemic. One of them we had to do was we suspended our elections last year. So we are going to have elections this June, go back to our normal schedule. We are starting to look for any candidate who would like to join this board on it. And we like to get diversity across the city. And so if you ever thought of being involved with Comlink, now would be the time. And like I said, election is going to be inside June. And you can submit your names to Margarita at our office. Also, I'd like to talk about commissions. Commissions are starting to meet again. And I have the pleasure of being on ETech. And I've been on there for a number of years. If you want to get a good feeling of what's going on in the city, join Comlink, join a commission. And we have a number of commissions. And if you've ever thought about doing it, please submit your name to Daisy Perez. You can do it online. I'm sorry, not Perez, Gomez. I'm sorry, Daisy Gomez. She's a clerk of the city. And like I said, it's been a real pleasure for me to be on it. And if you ever thought about different commissions, and we have a number in the city, please become involved. We also are right now having discussion with the city and the school board, and we continue to push this because one change that was made during the pandemic, unknowing, is that we haven't been able to use classrooms in the schools like we could before for Comlink meetings of the neighborhood. 30 of our 64 neighborhoods cannot meet because they don't have a place to meet. So I have been in communications with the city manager, the superintendent. I've had them both saying, yes, they want to resolve this problem. I have every council person tell me they want to resolve this problem. Now we just got to make it happen. And so we are working on that. So hopefully shortly we'll have good news of our neighborhoods can end up meeting. Because if you don't meet, you won't be there. And so we want to get the neighborhoods going again. Also, if you get a chance, go on YouTube and listen to the mayor's State of the City address that he made to the Chamber of Commerce today. I was very impressed. It's a very nice presentation. And the exciting one that I have, and I wish Peter Katz was here to share this with him because him and I had great discussions, but they're looking into the possibility of buying Littlewick Golf Course and turning it into the largest park in the city. I hope that comes true. Mayor didn't say they're going to, but they're looking into it, and it's a combination of a perfect storm with the funds coming from the federal government, Garden Grove wanting to sell it, that it may just all work right. And that would be great for the city of Santa Ana to get that much open space in the center of the city on it. So hopefully you'll hear more, or if you run into your council person, let them know that you're definitely in favor of that on it. And lastly, the council is looking at redistricting. Needs your input into it. There's a lot of different proposals and plans, and it could affect who's in your area and what ward you are being in. So City Council will have another meeting tomorrow to discuss it, but any input you can give would be greatly appreciated. That's with my announcements tonight. We'd like to start off with Tram Lee in our community report. We're going to talk about art and culture in the city. And this is an area that we want to bring back because in the past we would do this, talk what was going on in the city. And so do we have Tram here? I didn't see it.
Yes, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Fine. Yes, Tram, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, it's so surreal seeing myself on that screen in the Zoom thing. It's like Inception. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Thank you for inviting me. It's really nice to be here. Let me see. Oops. Let's see. Okay, great. I could see that it's on the screen. It's awesome. Oops. I should start at the beginning. As we all know, we've been through some crazy times here this past year, especially with the Omicron rising up and kind of putting a damper in some of our projects, but we were able to complete some awesome projects from the last year until now. One of the projects that we've been working on for a long time was the utility box art program, phase 4. We were able to complete 34 boxes total. 19 new boxes were painting, and we restored 14 boxes that were from phases 1 through 3. They all have anti-graffiti coating, and they all have the Arts and Culture official office's decal, so that folks know that this is an official, public art project, and to hopefully respect that. And it's actually has been working. We do have 6 boxes that have not yet been restored because the artists were not available, they're out of town, or for whatever other reason. Thank you very much for the funding from Economic Development, Public Works Agency, Parks and Rec, and Santa Ana Business Council. They help push it through. And so we have 10 utility boxes on South Main on all these streets. I invite you to drive up and down Main to see. It's almost like a public gallery, that you can even do a walking tour along all these streets and see all the amazing artwork. And if you walk, it's 360, so you walk all the way around. This one's particularly cool because it has a 3D effect. When you see it, you'll know. So it's really, really awesome project. On North Main, we have 9 utility boxes. And then we also place them strategically so that it would be relevant to the area, such as Philip K. Dick was, lived very close to Main and Civic Center. So, and he wrote, as we all know, Blade Runner. Well, actually it's called something about electric sheeps, but the movie Blade Runner was based on his novel. So, you'll all of this, and this lion is placed right across from Mater Dei High School, whose mascot is a lion. So things like that. I think it was a really thoughtful project. I'm very proud of it. And finally, some of the restoration. This box is on Broadway and 3rd by the artist Eddie De La Barca, entitled Ecosystem, or the Ecosystem. So he restored it. Now it shines brilliantly at night. And also some of these, you can see clearly they were very dirty and marked up, and the artist came back and cleaned it up. We're also very proud of another project that had been in works for many, many years, Willis and Sullivan Beautification Project. This is what that plot of land looked like before we started working on it. Then afterwards, this is what it looks like. We added lights for safety because the residents were actually advocating for safety and beautification for their families and the school kids that go to school, the school across the street, Lincoln Elementary. So we decided to add all these safety features as well as clean it up. The final artwork, the second component is the artwork, and that was advocated by the residents as well as funding by Margarita. She found the funding to fund a lot of this project. The artwork is titled Coyote or Coyote. Coyote is the Aztec word for coyote. And there's a plaque underneath here that talks about the inspiration for the artwork. The imagery is inspired from indigenous Aztec and Nahuatl peoples and languages. That includes words we still use today, like coyote. And that's why we also have, and it's, I'm sorry, okay, sorry, it was inspired by the Nahuatl poetry of the Aztec ruler Neza Huaycoyotl, hence the flowers in the tongue that represents flowery words or poetry. And then it also includes the plaque over here, includes 2 poems by the ruler, translated into English, Spanish, and Nahuatl. The first poem is A Memory That I Leave, and the second poem is The Mockingbird. And down here is a tribute to David Vasquez, who was a Santa Ana resident and taught Nahuatl, the indigenous language, for free to all citizens, anybody who wants to come by his class that he taught in the Church of the Messiah in Santa Ana, starting in 1996. And so this past Saturday, we did a huge unveiling and blessing of the sculpture and the project itself. It was so beautiful and wonderful. In fact, we were blessed 3 times, once by a Baptist pastor Pastor Leon Clark from First Messiah. Let me get this right this time because I didn't say it correctly. Reverend Leon Clark, New Spirit Baptist Church, and also a Catholic priest, Father Carlos, and finally these Aztec dancers. We had 10 community resource booths that provided information for the local residents, including rental assistance, fire prevention from Orange County Fire Department, after school learning, things like that, and also entrepreneurship from different how to start your entrepreneur, how to be supported as an entrepreneur. We also had 3 art workshops, 3 different tables doing arts for families. They can make masks, coyote masks. We had performers. Here's Margarita right here. We had performers from the community, singers, musicians, dancers from the senior dance group, and also just other visitors bringing classic cars to showcase the culture that's around that neighborhood. And finally, it took many, many partners to make this happen, starting with Sullivan en Acción, Bella Vista Neighborhood Association, Casa Bonita Neighborhood Association, Lincoln Elementary School, Santa Ana Unified District Office, the Visual and Performing Arts Program, the City Manager's Office, Community Development Agency, Arts and Culture Office, Planning and Building Agency, Neighborhood Initiatives Program, and the Public Works Agency. So you can see a lot of effort and partnership and manpower and love and magic went into this. Upcoming projects, we have the South Main Public Arts Initiative, which you will hear later from Executive Director Nabil Saba. But we are partnering with them for the public arts portion. There were 49 proposals submitted. The Arts and Culture Commission reviewed and rated these proposals already. And soon we will be meeting both the Arts and Culture Office and Public Works to discuss next steps. And that's it for us for now. Do I take questions or anything like that?
Let me ask Tram if there's any questions. Is there any?
I don't know if I can't hear or. I'm so sorry, I can't hear anything. If you can hear me.
Try again, testing.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Yes,
Good.
perfectly.
Good. Evangeline was going to tell us about the free days at the zoo and at the Bauer Museum.
Are you waiting for something?
Yes, she's no. Tram, we do not have any questions for you at this time, so we appreciate your coming and updating us.
Thank you for having me.
What was that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
Your mic? Kind of
Test. There we go. All right. Ready, Evangeline?
Yes, I'm ready. Hello. I'll try and not make so much noise. Maybe it's my jewelry I'm wearing. Could I be doing that? I never know. Okay, let's not be silly. If you notice on our report, committee reports that we've had over the last several years, we put art back on there. And I just wanted you folks to know that in case you didn't, and maybe some of you do, that Bowers Museum has a free day for all Santa Ana residents every Sunday. You have to show your ID that you are from Santa Ana. And then the zoo, our Santa Ana Zoo, they have a free day on the third Sunday of every month, and you have to show your ID. So that's kind of nice to know that you can take your children to the zoo and leave them there. No, you won't leave them. But take your children to the zoo and give them a fun day for some Sunday, or take a walk through Bowers Museum, which is always interesting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let me see if Lisa Solomon is still with us. Lisa, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We're going to turn it over to you. And let me just say, we really appreciate Lisa. This lady has worked very hard over Christmas, making sure the children in Santa Ana School District receive gifts, and we were part of that and appreciate it. And despite all that, she's recovering from surgery, and here she's talking to us. So Lisa, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Carl, for your generous donation. I know I wasn't at school at the time, but we greatly appreciated all the toys that the community gave. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about that today. Let me
Just
go
a
ahead.
second. Go ahead.
Okay, let me go ahead and share the screen. There you go. We can just use this. Go to the very top. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in present mode so you could see it nice and clearly. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple of things really quickly. We wanted to let everybody know that we have developed a graduate profile. We've worked together with different members of the community to ensure that we know what qualities we want every student to have when they leave Santa Ana Unified School District, that we're all working towards that same vision and goal. And it was a wonderful process to go through. We had members of the community, Ruben Alvarez, different people who are involved in the city had come and participated, different organizations and parents and staff as well, who came together to really determine what we feel our students will need as they move ahead towards college and career to be successful. The graduate profile, you can go to our website to see it, but it describes the skills, knowledge, and abilities that each graduate should possess when they graduate from Santa Ana schools. And I'm just going to show you 3 of the priority areas that we have, that the district has chosen to focus on as a district. This is kind of where we're starting, but we're still going to continue working on all the areas. And each one kind of describes some of the skills that we need. Of course, literacy, numeracy, the academics, right? But making sure that our students know how to apply that learning in the demanding 21st and now 22nd century, right? As they move forward, that they have the skill sets that they need. And I know we've brought it up here before, that they know how to communicate with others, that they have a self-awareness, that they know how to work as a team. And they also have the literacy and technology skills that they need to work within our community, but also to work globally now and for the future as well. And then the number 5, which is the third one that we're focusing on, is that they're architects of their lives, which means that they know how to design plans and that they know that if there's obstacles, that they're going to be able to overcome them and persist to reach their goals that they have in life. And some of the highlights. So if you want to see the graduate profile, please visit our SAUSD page. And I know that you're going to be seeing a lot of information. Different schools are sharing information out to parents, to the community. It's something that we're very proud of. Some highlights, just so you know, our superintendent, of course, received the key to the city this week from our mayor during his State of the City address. For the holidays, as Carl mentioned, we were able to serve over 3,000 families, and we think about 5,000 to 8,000 children who received, we haven't gotten the exact counts, we're still getting lists from everyone, who received toys, food gift cards, and gift cards through the different programs that we have in Santa Ana. Right now, kids are celebrating the Great Kindness Challenge, and they're making kindness posters talking about kindness and respect and how to treat others. And tomorrow will be our 100th day of school, so expect to see a lot of pictures of kindergartners dressed up as little 100-year-olds, because that's what they're doing tomorrow. We want to also welcome to our SAUSD family 2 people, Jennifer Flores, who's been named the new Associate Superintendent of Human Resources Department, and Janaea Marking, who is joining us as our new Associate Superintendent of our CBO, our Chief Business Official. We want to welcome them to Santa Ana Unified. We have a lot of facilities updates. You can read them right there on the screen, and I will be sharing this with Margarita and the team. We did have the groundbreaking for Valley High School CTE. And we also we're doing a Valley Auditorium renovation. Jefferson is going to be getting a bigger building. Washington's being modernized. And they're working on the Saddleback Sports Complex. And they're working on Romero Cruz Academy on the new playground and kindergarten rooms that are going under construction. Also, as our superintendent stated, they are looking at renaming Romero Cruz Academy back to Lydia Romero Cruz Academy. Also, we wanted to let you know about arts happenings, because you guys know that we have incredible shows throughout Santa Ana, and they're great prices. You can get tickets for like $7 or $10. Santa Ana High School is going to be doing In the Heights, February 24th, 25th, and 26th. Godinez is going to be putting on Grease, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And Segerstrom High School is going to be doing The Wizard of Oz, April 21st through the 23rd. We also have Boca de Oro and Litcom both coming up. It's going to be February 24th. And we also have right here, you can see Middle College High School sent us a flyer. They're going to be doing Merry Men in Santa Ana College, Phillips Hall. We wanted to let everybody know, I know I only have 5 minutes, so sorry I'm going so fast. We have free COVID testing clinics for the community. So if anyone needs COVID testing, you can go to either our district office right by police services, or you can also go to Valley High School. Every week we put out a new calendar of where we're open for community testing. So anyone from the community can go through at Valley High School. I can tell you I've gone on a weekend and the lines have been very short, and it's pretty quick, and it's open to anyone in the community. Besides the testing that we're doing at schools of each and every child, we also have this opportunity for families and for anyone in our community. And then each of our students received a at-home test kit right when we returned from vacation. And if anyone wants to know anything about our COVID resources or see the COVID dashboard, which shows how many cases we have in Santa Ana or have had, you can go to this website or just even type in SAUSD COVID resources, and this will come up and you'll get all the information about what's happening in Santa Ana. We want to let you know about important upcoming dates. February 11th is a school holiday. It's Lincoln's birthday. February 18th is a student free day. February 21st, Washington's birthday. February 28th through March 4th, it's parent teacher conferences. And March 4th through March 6th, we have the Boca de Oro, which is, it's a collaboration with the City Council where we bring the arts together, and it also helps us to celebrate Youth Arts Month. We also wanted to let you know there's vaccine clinics that we're also hosting. Here's one that's going to be hosted this Thursday, February 3rd at MacArthur Fundamental School. And then we're also working in collaboration with Latino Health Access, Serve the People, Families Together, and bringing lots of other COVID vaccine clinics to the communities, to our neighborhoods, to our schools, for children, adults, anyone who really wants to get the vaccine. We have lots available. And then remember just to follow us if you want to know what's happening in SAUSD through Facebook, Instagram, and a million other ways. And that is my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Any question for Lisa? Here, we have one here.
Do we have to make an appointment for COVID testing?
No, you don't. You could just drive up. I did it last 2 Saturdays ago, and I just drove up, and then they do it in your car, the one at Valley High School, and it's really quick.
We have another question over here. Mr. Katz?
Lisa, I was looking at the graduate profile, and one of the values or one of the goals is to promote a commitment to become moral and ethical leaders who seek to build their life in the service of others. Is there any part of the program with SAUSD which develops and nurtures a commitment, loyalty, allegiance to the city of Santa Ana, where there's a focus on its history and perhaps the development of future leaders here within the city? I think that can have a tremendous impact on what the city looks like now and in the future.
Yes, we do have a part of our program, like our 3rd grade program is based on community. I can tell you for elementary school, but also we do encourage a big part of the graduate profile that came out through the whole process, and I was a part of it, was the big focus on civic engagement. And you saw where it said locally and globally, and it's getting our students to really understand how they can have an impact within their own communities by going out and helping and serving others. So it is a component. And as we're developing, we started with the graduate profile, and then we're working our way back and kind of working on that design. So I will take your input back to our superintendent. I'm honestly texting him whenever I finish these meetings. I text him right after and tell him the input that people have given. And Carl, just so you know, for your question about the neighborhood association meetings, Jerry just texted me that they're meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock with the city, just so you know.
Good, good. The city manager could have called 4. Thank you. I will call her.
I hope I answered your question.
No, we did. I just want to bring up also is that we've been in discussion about bringing back some of the leadership training that we used to present before the pandemic. City did a good job, and we are looking forward to try to get that renewed and up and running again, because we do need to develop the big leaders in our neighborhood.
And there is one question in the chat, Carl, that I would like to answer.
Yes, go ahead.
It's and I love the name of the building, but it's what is the school district building at the school on Bristol and St. Andrews near Mater Dei High School? Well, that used to be Sepulveda Elementary School, and it now has become our support services department, and it's been named after our dear friend Rob Richardson. So it's the Rob Richardson Support Services. It used to be called Pupil Support Services or Student Support Services, but our services extend out not just to the students, but to the family and community as well. So we wanted to make sure that we represented that well. And it's like the perfect name. That's what I think personally.
For those that don't recognize that name, Rob sat on the school board as well as city council, and he really contributed to the city in many, many ways. And he's a great train enthusiast. So when I'm up late at night, there's a train that I hear at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I work that late. And I always think that's Rob saying, hello, every time I hear that whistle. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. And if you have any questions, remember, you can always reach out to me at lisa.solomon@sausd.us, or you can call Madison Elementary, and anyone in our district would be willing to answer any questions people may have. Thank you.
Thank you. We're also fortunate to have a presentation from Santa Ana Community College. And Doctor, is she here?
Yes, I'm here.
Very, very good. Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself and go ahead?
Good evening, board and chair. I thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Annebelle Nery, the new president of Santa Ana College. I come with 25 years of experience in higher education and a reputation of innovation and partnership. So aside from giving you some quick updates, I wanted to share with you that the vision that we're going to roll out for Santa Ana College is partner, partner, partner. So we would, any opportunity to partner with ComLink to present formal presentations or to ask questions, we'd be happy to do so. And also, if you need to host a meeting at any of our campuses at Santa Ana College, we'd be happy to offer that as well, since I heard you discuss meeting space. But in addition to my years of experience, I wanted to share that Santa Ana College would already just opened a beautiful new science center. And the Science Center has state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line science equipment for chemistry, biology, anatomy and physiology, physics, for cutting-edge STEM majors. And it's considered one of the top facilities in the California community colleges. In addition to that, I wanted to announce tomorrow, we still have open house available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. where students can see our beautiful new Science Center and actually enroll for spring classes, which start February 7th. But like I said, in the future, we want to partner. And I look forward to meeting all of you in person at any given time at different meetings and different parts of the city. But again, I just wanted to introduce myself and thank you for the time and look forward to partnering, and let us know what you need so we can be there and support the organization. And in case, unless anyone has any questions, that's it for me. Thank you.
Well, I just want to announce, I was talking tonight, and we're looking probably March, maybe April, to have one of your representatives come here and describe all the new buildings of construction has taken place during the time of the pandemic. And it's really exciting how the school is growing in number and size, and it's really a tribute. And the one thing I think is the best kept secret is your planetarium. And if you want to and just a great show of the stars and explanation and a very comfortable setting, do it at Santa Ana College, and it was very inexpensive. So I just want to let people know, use the planetarium, it's there. It's great.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I have a question for you.
Hi, Annabelle. I was wondering if you were talking about partnerships, do you have a writing department, journalism department at Santa Ana College? Because a lot of our neighborhoods are looking to print up newsletters, but would be willing to offer, some sort of trade-off if your writing department would be interested in helping us get it set up and started.
Absolutely. We can partner in almost any way, and we have very talented students, faculty, and programs. If you can do me a favor and give your name and contact information, Teresa Mercado Cota, I believe, is in the audience, and see what we can do to partner.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Want to raise your hand? I was also asking, are there any classes for old folks like me that are computers? I had another attorney, so he said, looks at me like kind of odd. You're an engineer, why don't you know this? So anyway, are there any other questions? If not, we appreciate, Doctor, your time and being with us, and looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you again.
We're very fortunate. I heard the mayor address this today, is that yes, the streets are tore up. Yes, it's hard to get from point A to point B, but the road to progress is covered by bumps and potholes and what have you. And it's really the fact that the city right now is just tremendous number of projects. So we're very fortunate that to have Nabil Saba with us, Director of Public Works, to talk about the number of things they have going on. And it's a very exciting time in his agency. And he's the guy that brings it all together and makes it happen. Nabil?
We do have a program for you from Public Works tonight. We have few presentations. The first one on neighborhood block transformation contest that we held earlier this year. And also we have an update for you on the permit parking district. In addition to a trash hauler transition update for you. In addition to that, we have also a bus shelter advertising and maintenance contract, what we just awarded. And also finally, we'll have an update for you on the construction projects that Carl mentioned. To start, I would like to share with you our success in the neighborhood block transformation contest that we held earlier this year. And I would provide you with a recap of that contest, why we changed the name, the winning blocks, and the recognition ceremonies, in addition to our new this year 2022 contest. to give you an update on, or a recap on the contest itself, received 3 nominations from Ward 3. ETAC commissioners volunteered to be as judges. Carl Benninger and Ryan Jermaine from ETAC Commission participated in the judging. 3 recognition ceremonies were held on Saturday, October 23rd of 2021. And these were attended by the property owners and the neighbors in the block, the mayor, ETAC commissioners and judges, and the commissioner from the ward, and also by a representative from Home Depot. Both units and Home Depot that in Santa Ana participated in giving away buckets of goodies for the winning neighbors, which was really nice for them to do at no charge. So we were happy that they participated. The contest was designed to engage the community to transform and make Santa Ana a beautiful place to live, work, and play. Because the contest was about transformation, we decided that we would change the name to Neighborhood Block Transformation Contest. This year's award-winning blocks were East Avalon, a block of 700 through 1,000, with their decorative fairy garden parkways, a Green Leaf block of 1,900 for their yard landscape improvements, and West 18 block of 300 through 400 for fencing and landscape improvement. So there was a variety of things that we looked at, and every single block participated. The neighbors really were involved, invested in making their block look nicer than it was before. So we were really happy with that. Avalon recognition ceremony was held on the street. We got some dogs over there. Again, we also have the goodies from Home Depot. It was attended by Carl, who's right there, Brian Germain, and also Dorian Romero, our commissioner and ETAC for that work. This is the before and after with the 3930 gardens in the parkways. Before and after looked really nice. If you have not seen that block, you should go see it. It's really, really nice, and it's a nice walk through it, and very rewarding. This is the Green Leaf recognition ceremony. It was attended again by Brian Germain, Carl Benninger, and I think the mayor is in this one too. So, so each block, the winning block, got a sign that says beautiful award-winning block. At the beginning, the sign was at the beginning and the end of the block, which it was a really nice recognition, and it will be there for many years to come. This is the Green Leaf before and after. As you can see, some of the trees, shrubs got cleaned up, and it's something that people do. And here they were really vested in making the neighborhood look better. So that's what this is what really is this competition is about. Again, this is the recognition ceremony with the sign in the beginning of the block with, again, Peter Katz was there, the mayor, Carl, Brian Germain, and the representative from Home Depot. This is a before and after. The award and the announcement of the recognitions were on the Santa Ana newsletter, next door, Facebook, Nixel. So we announced this thing, and it was the winning blocks were all over the media, which we were proud of. And on the city website, if you click on the city website, you will find the details of the competition or the contest. For next year, which is really important, that's why I'm here, is to encourage all of you to participate and talk to your neighbors and see if you could encourage the participation in wards other than Ward 3. We want everybody in Santa Ana to participate. And I know, we are open to it. It doesn't have to be very fancy. You just minor changes, minor improvements on the look of the house would really help. And that's what really this competition again is about. The application deadline is May 20th. We would review the applications later that month, and the judging will take place in June. The results will be announced in July, and we will also have recognitions just like we did this year. There's the website address is here. If you would like to participate and encourage others to do so. Again, this is the sign that will be posted on beginning of the block, on both sides of the block, and it is really nice. I encourage you to go out and look at these streets and look at the sign. It's really nice, and again, it will be there for many years to come. People are really proud of it, and each participating home will get $100 gift certificate to compensate them for some of the effort that they did, along with what Home Depot has given us. I'm open for questions. Right.
When you enter this competition, and do you have to beautify your own block, or can you say I want to, let's say, adopt another block and beautify that block?
I'm open. The idea is to really have a champion for the block, to go around the block and encourage the residents or the homeowners or the renters in that block to participate and make some improvements on the look of their homes. And that's the idea, but I'm willing to listen, that we only require 50% participation in the block. So we would love to see every single home on the block participate, but 50%, half of them, if they participate, that'd be great. We lowered the standard a little bit. We wanted to really encourage people to participate because it does benefit everyone on the block. So we're open to the idea. Here, Jeff, sorry.
No, but if you don't mind, I'd like to share the experience of our neighborhood. Our neighborhood was responsible for 2 of the 3 winners in Ward 3. And being that I think I'm talking to mostly leaders of neighborhood associations here, I want to encourage you to step out as leaders and really inspire and promote people in your neighborhood, because it's not, it may not happen on its own. It really does require leadership. If you go back that picture one before, not that street, the 18th Street one. I don't live on that block, but it was a block in our neighborhood, that one right there, which we felt needed some love. And that's really what I think this program is designed to hit. There are blocks in our city which are kind of teetering, depends which way the wind blows. And my concern, and I shared this with Nabil a year and a half ago, the wind blows the wrong way, and before you know it, you lose that neighborhood. Whereas if you put a little bit of effort, you save it, and it's amazing how you can transform. This section of our neighborhood, mostly rentals, and as you all know, if you've ever rented a car, you never return a car as clean as you get it, right? People don't necessarily treat rentals as well, but it happens to be that they lived there for many, many years. And we rallied both the property owners and the rentals and the renters. And it would not have happened, unfortunately, holistically. The other block in our neighborhood, which has 70 houses on it, they did it on their own, but this one required leadership, and not simply leadership of our own board, but the entire neighborhood rallied. So we got volunteers from neighbors from blocks away that would come on Saturday mornings, help paint, help remove landscaping, simple things that were remarkable. And I want to say, I was driving our neighborhood with Mint High today, and we went by one of the houses that was really challenged. And I looked out there and I saw the property owner mowing the lawn. And I had such a good feeling, but it was dramatic. The pride that it evoked in these neighbors, and it just spread throughout the neighborhood. And for a long time, this particular block felt very separated from the rest of the neighborhood. And this was a step that allowed them to get more absorbed. They got a chance to meet other neighbors. So I know Nabil may be a little bit discouraged that there were only 3 entrants last year, but that's okay. That's year 1. And I think if we as common leaders step up and we rally and just pick 1 block per neighborhood and say, we're going to focus our efforts on this block and let the whole neighborhood get into it. I think it's amazing what it will do for the city this year. And can you imagine 5 years of doing this, every block per 1 block per neighborhood? It will be really amazing. So I thank Nabil and his staff for putting this program together. And like I'm raising my hand. If there's a neighborhood that wants my help or our help, we're here. We'd love to help out because it really helps the entire city.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And being one of the judges, I was impressed with how the neighbors came out to help us one section. I also want to recognize Michelle, who really put this together for the city for us. So can we give Michelle a big hand? She's the one who got us there on time, and she's the one that kept us on time. I also have to mention one thing. We're very honored tonight to have Wendy Sarah with us, who just happened to bring the mayor pro tem. I think he was at home watching something, but he came along with her. So Mayor Pro Tem, we very much feel and enjoy you being here. Thank you.
I'm done unless you guys have additional questions. This is a really exciting program, and I encourage you to encourage others to participate. It is not that complicated. We are simplifying the rules, and we want to work with you. We just want to see the homes in these blocks taken care of and see the community come together, just like how this one did. It's not that complicated. The most difficult part is to reach out, knock on the door, and see if they would like to participate. And again, I think the award is for many years to come. You will have that sign on that block for many years, and people will be proud of it. And you know, like Jeffrey was mentioning, is people are going to be encouraged to even do more and keep it clean and beautiful. Thank you with that. Now I'd like to introduce Frank Orilna to give us a briefing on our permit parking district RFP process, request for proposal. Frank?
Yay, Frank.
Thank you, Nabil. Thank you, Comlink Board. I appreciate the time here to be able to come here and do this presentation. It's one of our funnest, best projects in the city. Everybody loves permit parking. Everybody enjoys it, right? So, all funny aside, thank you again, obviously. Before I start all this real quick, just want to see if everybody has a copy of the brochure that explains the existing permit parking program. It looks like this. So it looks like this, and it'll help a little bit as we go along. If you don't have one, raise your hand. One of the staff members will be able to bring it to you. That way it makes it easier to follow. That way you don't have to take any notes or anything like that. That way, as we go through this, if you miss something I say or anything, it's definitely on there already. So a little background on our program. It's about roughly 30 years old. It's about 30 years old, and the intent of it was to improve the quality of life for the neighborhoods at the time it was being developed. From all the intrusion that was occurring from cars that were coming in from either outside the neighborhood, visiting, or even within the neighborhood. So it was the quality of life issue that we were trying to get to. The program, like I said, 30 years old, it's grown basically to 27 districts and about 9,000 permits. If I may, I'll put it in front of you right now. It's perfect for the but so you can see it canvases the whole city, everywhere in the city and everything. And this one actually has all the streets that have actually permits on and the type of permit they have on. So if you'd like to peruse this after the meeting, everything, please do so. If you want a copy of this, please let us know and we can forward that to you. We also have individual ones. The color coded one too. We have these individually for the district. Sometimes one of your neighborhoods might fit in a portion of the district, but we'll give it to you and show it to you where your neighborhood in relation to the district is, and all the streets of that already enjoy permit parking. Now, who's eligible for this? Right now, the current system only has 4 housing type products associated with it. So in there, you'll see on the form, it'll talk about eligibility. We'll start with the process, how we begin the process. So you have a problem on your block and you give us a call and you say, there's a parking problem here. Now, there's 2 ways to go about doing that. So one is that you call us and tell us that there's a problem and it exists really like around, let's say, Saturday and Sunday. And then we go out and do an observation for you if you'd like us to do that. The other process is what we call an interest form. The interest form is that you call us, we tell you, would you like to do it yourself? We set up a form that gives you all the addresses on that block that would make it qualify for permit parking. And that initiates the process. And I say that because you'll see later on when we get to the second phase of this, it initiates the process. Anyone on that lives in these homes, say if it's a renter or a homeowner, can actually say, I want to be part of permit parking. And they can sign it. Then there's a couple other steps that go along with it without getting tedious on it. You take a couple pictures and you submit it. We evaluate it, make sure the criteria is met. And if it's met, then it goes into what we call the petition phase. That petition phase is also described on the brochure. That phase, we send an actual letter to the owners to say yes or no to be included in permit parking. And it requires 66% of the owners to say yes. Now, obviously, at that point, the tenants can talk to the owners if they want, but it's the actual owners get to say yes or no, and they mail us back these forms. If it passes, then we get into the eligibility part of who can get these permits. So, like I said, there's 4 product types. We have a single-family residence, we have a duplex, 2 units, triplex, 3 units, and fourplex, 4 units. The single-family residence can enjoy up to 3 permits or up to 75 guest passes every year. A duplex, 2 units, only 2 permits, 1 per unit, no guest passes. Similarly, a triplex, 3 units, 3 permits, 1 per unit, no guest passes, and a fourplex, 4 units, 1 permit per unit, no guest passes. Any other product, 5 units and above, is not included in the program at this time. And how to obtain the permit gets a little bit just technical on there. The driver's license and all the proof you need and everything. I'll let you enjoy that reading and everything on there. The program's grown, as you know, 9,000. It's grown with its problems and everything. Some are up here. It's an ongoing challenge, not just to respond to someone individually, but to, let's say, a neighborhood as a whole. Each neighborhood, each district is completely different. We did a pilot study about 1.5 years ago. We picked 2 of the ones that were extraordinarily different, where it's mostly residential, with no influences of multifamily within, and then one that was influences within. And it was a drastic difference between what each neighborhood needed and everything like that. So because of these challenges, and you can see some here, and I'm sure if I asked everyone who enjoys or doesn't enjoy permit parking, they'll have one answer for every one of these and then some. So we're just here. Sorry. So to that end, of course, all the challenges, the city's prepared a scope of work. We're looking and we're embarking on this journey to revamp the permit parking program. That's what we're here for right now. As you can see, there's some of these items that we have in scope of work that we touch on here. The biggest one is why we're here today, is to conduct extensive public outreach. What that means basically is we are asking for your help. We're asking for your input. We need your input. At whatever you think of the program, how you want to change, whatever it may be, that's what we're looking for from you. Obviously, Nabil has tasked us to go to every single neighborhood in a very short amount of time. And we're up to that challenge and everything, because we want to make sure we come out to you, get everybody's input and everything along the way for every little step that we need. It could be something that you might say, I don't like the program. I don't want the program. That's fine. Sometimes we'll ask you why, and we want to know the why. You know, I don't like it. Well, why helps us to give you a better product when we're done with this? Why helps us to understand exactly what everybody, somebody might say, well, I want 4 permits versus 2 or versus 3, whatever it may be. That's the kind of input we need. Obviously, you're the neighborhood leaders, and we want to go back to the neighborhoods. We actually are asking if you guys can call us. Now, to that end, there's a little comment card that was passed out. Right here. I mean, if you guys comments already today, we'll take them. Thank you so much. If you want to wait on it, we have a phone number there you can call us on. We have an email on here that you can email us to as well. If no one has one of these, or if you're missing one, please raise your hand. Staff will get one to you right away. So whichever way you want to contact us, however you want to contact us, we're going to put all these comments together and everything like that to move forward within the scope of work to make sure that we have an idea what we prepare for you and make sure it fits everyone's needs to that scope of work that we're going to get to the consultant. I got the slides here a little bit backwards, but I'll do this one first. This is what I was telling you earlier, Nabil, that asked us to get this done fairly quickly. We're trying to hit all 64 neighborhoods as possible. Obviously, Commonwealth here and other neighborhood associations or community associations to help us with this process. So this is what we're trying to do in the next 2 months. And it won't be the last time you see us or talk to us or anything like that. Once the RFP is issued and once it goes to start the study in July, then the consultants as well as the city teams will come out and ask you again. We'll involve you a little bit more tightly. We'll get into the neighborhoods and say exactly what we're looking. This is what we have. This is what we've seen. These are the previous comments. How many more comments do you want to give us? How much, what you want to see out of the program? We want everybody to devote themselves up to what we're doing and then giving us the where, why, and how we want it to be done. This is going to be totally grassroots. We're going to work at it as best we can. The goal is to get this done completely around June 2023. And then again, tentatively start in September 23. And I say tentatively because, as you know, if you enjoy permit parking, it's an odd year program. And we just issued the 2023 permits. We won't have it ready for 2020. I mean, the 2021 permits for 2023. We won't have it ready for 2023, which the rollout will occur in a non-renewal year, which makes it easier that way because as people come in, they'll understand it and they'll see it. When we go to the renewal year in 2025, that's when we hope to be up and running with everything. Hopefully some new software that's coming on board that will be able to do some things. And you can tell us, I'd rather do it by credit card. I don't want to go to the city. I don't want to do all these things. We already are in our scope of work, but we want to hear from you guys. We want to get that interaction from everybody. So my plea to you is to, if you go back to your neighborhoods, please ask them to call us. Obviously Margarita is available. My team's available. The information on their permit parking, the phone number there, please call those in and we'll set up meetings as you see fit, at the time you see fit, when you want us out there, and we'll arrive. It'll be a different, it might be myself, it might be a different part of the team. Right now, to get all these 64 neighborhoods in, we're going to have like about 4 roving teams going around the city. So at least that's where we're anticipating get the work done and everything like that. So this is what I had the backward slides. Just to reemphasize, we want your input. And then, any questions?
Yes, I have 2.
Yes.
I know this has been part of the rules in my program for quite some time. But it still isn't any change. When okay. When you ask who is allowed to vote, which ones are eligible to vote, it should be the people who live in that block, not particularly outside owners of the rental houses, because most owners live out of town, they live out of state, some even live on the East Coast, I know for facts. They're not interested, particularly what the neighborhood looks like, they're interested in the rent. And a lot of them are interested in how many people they can cram into that house. They don't care whether there's 8 to 10 cars that go to that house, okay? So it should be that, that needs to be in here that the voters, the ones who are able to vote should be the ones who live in the neighborhood. That needs to be changed.
And that's perfect. What this is perfect what we want to hear. This is exactly what I want to hear because nothing of the program right now, as we go forward, everything's going to be on the table. every single thing is going to be on the table. Everything's going to be looked at, just like your comment was. It'll come down to how many people want to see what you're saying and everything like that. It'll still be part of our moving forward. Let's say we'll go to your neighborhood and they'll say maybe half the neighborhood wants what you're saying. Maybe the other half might not. It doesn't matter at that point. We want to hear that input so we can change that. Because you're right, that's one of the biggest complaints we do get. The owners don't care. They don't want to, we call them, and then, so this is the point where this is where the grassroots part of it comes in. You guys are living a movie, I live a picture. And this is what the movie, then I get to live this movie now with you guys and be able to move forward and then take a better product to council. They can make a decision on what they want to see.
And then another thing that I hear from the different neighborhoods is that they had permit parking, but the police, after a while, are not coming out to do anything about those who are not supposed to be there. And they won't even come when they call them up. So that needs to be taken up with the. police
That's something we
department.
can do now ongoing. If you call us, we do have a good rapport with the police. And what I tell you is just keep calling. That the best thing I can tell. I know it sounds redundant. I'm sure you probably heard it from me and everybody else. To do that. Send us an email on that and everything. I mean, we can bring it up as part of that process. I don't think we can tell people you're going to do this at certain hours as part of the process, but it can be brought up and let council know, and then all our supervisors know.
And then another question I have, it's something different, but how do you go about getting these different types of speed bumps for your block? I live in the 1400 block there, South Birch, there in Wilshire Square. There's 5 houses off of Eddinger, and people just turn that corner off of Eddinger and just speed down that block. And I've noticed there's several blocks that I have been driving around, as I go through town, that have the different types. Some they call it cushion. Can you hear me through this? Some are called a cushion.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the big boom, boom. You have to stop push the car over.
Yeah.
More, and then there's one from on St. Andrews that goes from Bristol east to Flower. There's one on Washington Street that goes from Maine all the way out. And they're really nice. If you do, you have to slow up. They're different types, but they're kind of smooth ones. You do have to slow. You can't just go boom, boom, boom. So how do you go about getting one for your block? The way they speed down our block is just terrible because they speed up the.
So right now we have the permit parking program, as you know, with the long speed humps across the street. So that's the program we use in everything. This program has been used for different criteria. That's something we can sit down and see if that criteria fits into your neighborhood and everything. It's not part of the framework of of speed humps yet. We're working on that, but it's more like test cases to see if this works well. And two, if it's appropriate to put into some neighborhood. Some of the stuff you've seen, like you mentioned in the north part of the city, it's to alleviate other problems more than it is just speeding. So that's part of the evaluation process for those cushions.
Yeah, when you're in Washington, I think the speed bump, I was just down there yesterday and I noticed that going that way. I noticed that the speed bump seems to come before the stop sign that comes out. There's several stop signs going from Maine all the way down to Lincoln.
Yeah, I believe so. Not too close, hopefully.
They're just I think it just kind of stops them unless you know you better stop at that stop
Yeah,
sign.
we don't do speed humps too close to stops. It's just a different dynamic that occurs with that. So if it shouldn't be that close to it, it should be probably about 100 feet, 150 feet away, but it is close enough that it allows people to slow
I
down
think
and
that's
stop.
Santiago have one there in Park Santiago.
I
Santiago
believe
Street.
so.
You come down Edgewood and make a right and go out to Santa Clara.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything against them again. I gotta go with those two guys. But they do have them, and they do kind of alert you that whoops. But we sure would like to get one there for our block.
Well, I'll have one of my staff members get your information, everything for the street that you're referencing.
Okay.
And then, well, that can be done now. There's no other, we
Should I
just-
hold a meeting with people in the block that say, hey, would you like to have something like
No,
that? Would that help?
no, we have to do the studies first,
Okay.
make sure that there is a problem. We have to prove it.
They'll give you a certain car that's 2 blocks down. But he's the one that speeds terribly. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something? Thank you very much.
We will have to conduct a warrant and a study on the speed, and the street has to qualify to be able to have a speed bump, because speed bumps have a slow response, first responders and other things. They do create other problems, but we will study your situation, that we do have criteria to go by.
It's getting worse and worse, or I'm getting older, I know that's.
We will take a look at that. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, hi Frank. Desi with Morrison. I live in Westwood condominiums in Morrison Park. So Morrison Park, you know, is a district, a permit district. But like Westwood condos are not allowed to have permit parking. We have 56 units that were built in the 60s, so you know, only 1 car park per unit. As family that moved in, 2 or 3 cars per family. So we can't park in the street. They can't park in the street. So we do have 15 rentals that we rent, but you know, get on a list and it's 2 to 3 years before somebody can get on top of this. So it's very frustrating. So my question is your staff willing to come to condominiums to make a presentation on this?
Yes, however we can get the message out to everybody so they can understand exactly what is being done, definitely just ask us and we'll definitely show up.
Okay, I'll reach out to you.
Okay, perfect.
Let's take this back over here.
So going along with that, what that gentleman just said, because we have 120 condo units in Northeast Santa Ana. And parking is a huge problem. Are you seriously considering or looking into, we're surrounded by single family homes and there is no place to park. And again, our units were built in the mid-60s. There was plenty of parking at that time. And we're surrounded by we have an easement on one side. And right now our HOA is investing some money into seeing if that can be turned into a parking lot. But even if we find that it can, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make it into a parking lot. We don't have that kind of money. So, I mean, I guess I'm asking you right now, how serious are we looking at changing any of the rules for those who live in multifamily dwellings? And it's no fault of our own.
We're looking at it extremely seriously. This is, I mean, obviously the program's 30 years old. You know, my team runs the program and we get it, we hear it, we know, and we sympathize for the situations that you're under and everything else like that. We're extremely serious about changing the whole program completely. That will include, obviously, things like you mentioned, on-site opportunities to see how you can help yourselves as well. It also include defining where the permit parking should be, and then areas where it looks like it should be open, can we then dedicate it to, let's say, the multifamilies and everything. All options are on there. There's nothing where you're saying that we're going to keep it on this column and leave it there. Everything's open. That's why we want your comments, like your comments now. You know, if you have them there, great, we'll take them. If you also want, like Desi offered, or was requesting from us to show up to your complex, then we're willing to do that. You know, that way everybody understands that they're part of this process. No one's being eliminated. No one's being said, well, you're here. Now, obviously, you know, we only have X amount of space on the street. So that's why we have to get creative together to make understanding that we can fit everyone's cars in there if possible. So nothing's off the table. Everything's on the table and everything will be discussed extensively and everything. That's why, like I said, the bills and tasks us to get to everyone we can in the next 2 months, just to get to the scope of work so we can enhance the scope of work. And then going forward, they work with the consultant. They're not just going to do it themselves. We're going to be part of that process to make sure you're still being or having outreach to you as you go along. It's going to be pretty intensive. It's not as level of a charrette intensity, but it'll get close to that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. My
Sure.
first question is, when you buy the parking permit, is that good just in your neighborhood or just on your street or just on your block? Or is it inclusive, like if I were to drive to another neighborhood and park in a parking street where there's parking permit, can I do that?
So, no. And for right, and with the current program, no.
Okay.
So if you can see here, there's 27 program parking districts.
Right.
Each district is color coordinated, and you can park within, for example, you can park within this color coordinated district with your permit. Your permit will have that color as well.
Okay.
Now, if you come over here, the PD will say, no, no good. So this is what the permit parking program as it exists today.
So any other place, like for example, mine is orange. So any other spot on that map that's orange, I can park there?
No, no, it actually is specific to the district. So each
Okay.
district here has a name, like here you have Washington Square. Yellow Washington Square can go into yellow Mayberry Park.
Okay, so
Right.
it's not citywide.
It's not to, it is to mitigate the traffic that comes on your street, in your neighborhood. Now, that's also on the table. Do we make it citywide? How do we change it? Now, if you did want to visit one of your friends, let's say over here in Riverview West, and there is permit parking there, they have the gas passes to give you to be able to go in. You know, and we do have, like, right now, in general, we have a 12 to 6 restriction, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. restriction, and a 24/7 restriction. Obviously, a 24/7 requires more guest passes if you have a lot of family members or friends coming over. But yeah, so they're not interchangeable. It's just your district, and that is it. So obviously, this big district encompasses about 3 or 4 neighborhoods. They all get to enjoy within their neighborhood. So if they go out,
It doesn't apply outside.
Correct.
Okay, the second question I had was regarding the older homes in the city where they have a short driveway that's not, I wouldn't estimate more than maybe 10 to 15 feet, big enough for one car, but they are on a cross street. For example, they could be on, I don't know, Russell or Wilshire or somewhere, you know, anywhere that happens to have a cross street. And there isn't parking enough in their driveway for an average car, because these houses were built 100 years ago. So is there any way they can be grandfathered in to get parking permits simply because of the age of the house? I think she's talking about a corner lot.
Correct, the corner lots, yeah. We're gonna study all these because that's come up before on people feeling like they, you know, that they could get an extra permit because they can't park on site.
Right.
All that's being looked at as well, like the side yards, like on the corner lot that we're talking about. That usually is an open area for a lot of people to come and use. We may be able to do that and say, okay, it'll be used for specifically this or that. All these items are on the table to be able to discuss and everything. That's why the more detailed your request of us or comments or what you want to see in the program, the better we're going to be able to provide you with the product that you're looking for and be able to answer. Now, there may be things that we can't do. As you can tell, some of these areas are more spaced out, have more space. Some of the more internal areas, you can see where there's a lot of permit parking influence. We may not be able to do certain things that people want and everything like that. So, but everything's going to be responded to, everything, we're going to categorize everything and make sure it comes not just from your neighborhood and your district, but citywide. See what the common threads are and then what we go, how we detail from there.
Okay, and the third question was regarding the support, you know, like when we put our cars on the street with a permit or without a permit, and the block is permitted, no one is enforcing it. So what is the point of paying $75 to get the permit that nobody enforces?
You know, that is a good comment. We can bring it into the fold of what we're doing here to put it out as more of a, okay, how do we request for public works police officers, right? Who knows,
You know, I mean, just like even neighborhood
but
patrols or
you
something,
know,
I don't know.
whatever it may be, we're going to address that too. Obviously, we have our team members between PD and all the other agencies that help us with this. We're going to reach out to them during this process as well. It's not going to be just public works and holding on to everything. It'll be in conjunction with everybody bringing up the complaints that are like, look, you're not going out there. I know they've improved a lot, PD, because they've got some extra personnel to be able to do
Right,
that
I get
enforcement.
it's personnel issue.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and it's easy, you know, I don't think I want to be a public works officer, but in general, we could find a way to sit there and schedule a PD something, you know, and work that out depending on how the new program's working.
And the last question has to do with schools, the school sites that are within a neighborhood. Are the teachers automatically issued permit parking?
No.
So
No.
does the school have available permit parking? I'm thinking particularly of Franklin School, where
Correct.
they all park on Broadway or Coven.
Yeah, so school district doesn't get, you have to be a resident of that block to be able to get a permit.
Okay, so school isn't
Exactly.
considered.
So what happens is that on the school block, on the side of the school, we don't impose permit parking on that. It stays open parking.
Okay.
Now, we have worked with schools, most recently in a couple other places that we'll do, like, let's say a loading zone, or allow day parking there, and then we'll change it to night parking for the residents.
Okay.
So we've already doing some of that work now. It just depends on the school district needs or the school needs, and then what we need for the neighborhood to balance that out.
Because our neighborhood is bordered by at least 2 schools, and we run into teachers don't have parking, so they park on our
Yeah.
streets.
Part of
And what are we
this,
gonna do? You
yeah,
know?
part of the scope also is to talk to the school district, big commercial entities with a lot of parking,
Exactly, yeah, there's
and then
parking.
how we can co-share parking in that way. Obviously, will be a cost to that. What that would be, no idea until we go through this process. But if we're able to do that, then that'll obviously open up the amount of parking inventory that we can have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Can I just interrupt for a minute? Hold on. You've been here before, and we've heard all this before and everything. I know you keep trying. What time frame could you give us that we can invite you back, that you can tell us the progress you've made from everything you explained to us tonight? Would that be possible?
But it's a gentleman says, I do.
Thank you.
That's what I'm
Benjamin.
saying. What
Yes. So like this presentation really is to give you an update on what the scope of work of this consultant will be. It is not that we're changing any of the rules yet. We need to hire a consultant that would reach out to you, the community, study the situation in the city, reach out and also look at what other cities are doing and come up with solution for us and to council to vote on changes for this program. So this is step one of many. So we are engaging you to decide what this consultant you want to see produce for you to see and to our council members. This is step one. So it's a long process. There is no changes right now. We're not promising any of these changes, but we want to hear from you because all these issues will be passed on through that email address to the consultant we're going to hire to address every single question, concern that you have and come up with solutions. And we'll look at those solutions along with you and our electeds to come up with a better program. I know Anaheim has a program that is a little different than ours. Costa Mesa has another program. Fountain Valley has such a program. So we are going to compare notes and come back to you and to our electeds to make those changes. We're not making changes right now, but we want to hear from you, and that's why we're here.
We got a question here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There we go.
I've been standing over. Hi, Francisco. When did you find out they had 9,000 permitted cars?
About 3-4 months ago.
Me. I'm Paula. Okay. We put ours in Wilshire Square about 3 years ago. I'm into my 3rd year. Excellent. Even the naysayers said they loved it. Once we got it in, it's really cleaned up the block. People that sit on the fence, maybe don't want it. Once we put it in, we love it. We had 2 blocks go in, now we have 12. My complaint to you, Yolanda PD does not want to enforce. Talk to them personally, including Blake. We have nobody covering Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday nights, or getting a hold of PD. We love it. Yolanda's got 10 people, 24/7, different chicks. It's a great thing, but if you guys want it to be good, you're going to have to get PCOs at least 10 more. It will make money for the city. It will make the neighborhoods happy. Trying to find out where the parking ticket money goes. Enough to hire, but there's a glitch in your system. It's enforcement. You need to speak with Blake and Yolanda. Laz came in the first year we had it. I have not seen Laz in over 10 months. I do a lot of calling, 5 or 6 calls a week, and hope for the best. He doesn't want to do it. It's terrific. It's terrific. It's terrific. Get it. But when you see about getting more consistent enforcement, takes PD 15 minutes to write a ticket. Yolanda's PCO people 3 minutes. Move on. She doesn't have enough people. It is a terrific program. Evangeline and I have been in this city for 80 years. I wish we had done it 20 years ago. What I have found out, if somebody wants to put a rental on our block, they're not moving 10 people in with 15 cars. We've already driven the line. 3 cars, that's it. There's many things that this is terrific. I could almost cry. I've been in the same house for 80 years. And I love it, and my neighbors love it. You people, please, get it done, but improve the enforcement. Very lacking. They do a good job. There simply is not enough of them for 9,000 permitted cars. Thank you.
Obviously, like it was mentioned before, we'll talk to PB. It's an ongoing thing that we work with them and everything. One of the things on the scope of work is actually how we can automate this citations and everything else like that.
Right here. Like, this is a no.
Okay.
That's a no.
So just so you know that technology is also being looked at to help us be able to, as you mentioned, improve the citation process of the program and everything. So.
2 things. The last question we're going to take, we have other things covered. So, sir, go ahead.
All right, I was going to ask about handicap. Is that something similar to what you're?
So we do have a handicap program that we conduct now. Like if you were to call us and say, you know, have these kind of troubles and everything, there's a whole criteria we follow to be able to give you handicap parking. And it's just a hybrid parking program that we have. Now, within permit parking, the state allows the handicapped person to be able to use their placard or their license plate to park in there without being charged for permits or anything like that. So if you're a handicapped person, you can park anywhere in the city, regardless of what kind of permit it says it's on.
I was talking about a sign in front of your house.
Correct. And so we have a separate program for that. But I was just mentioning that part of that program doesn't exist inside permit parking. You can park anywhere on that street because you have a handicap placard without having the city permit to do so. But if you need one out from us, I'll get one of our staff members to talk to you. We have that program. We'll get you the details and everything, and we'll work with you now on that.
That's good. I would like to get one of those because we have the same problem. We got permit parking on Western. You live on Highland, that is a bad area. And I don't know the lady where she lives, or I know you're getting better work outside of the Better Home Center and all that. Where we live is like a ghetto. And they're not taking care of that area as much. I've been in the committee for almost 15, 20 years now. And I'm in the area from McFadden to from First to McFadden and Great and Pacific. And what I do is get a complaint when I ask people. I got a couple of people that are here today. There's got complaints and they don't do that.
So let me do this. So because whatever, not just handicap, but any other complaints you may have or needs from the traffic department, I'll make sure that one of our staff members gets your information, and you can pass out our information to anyone on the block. And then we'll help you right now with those items and everything like that.
That would be good.
Okay, great.
That would improve a lot of it. Maybe people start listening, you know, like I tell them, it's like a union. You gotta be there at meetings to promote what you want.
Or you can just call
Maybe
us.
they don't want to do, they'll throw it in the trash.
Yeah, no, call us. And you don't have to come here to do that. You can just call us and we'll be able to be there for you. So please have all your neighbors who call us and we can go from there.
I'll take one of your cards. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to make this the last question.
Okay, so do I understand correctly, the parking process is block by block, right?
Yes.
So I don't think that's looking at the larger picture, because, so like, I talked to my neighbors, you know, it's like, I'm surrounded by rental units, fortunately, and, you know, they don't really care, the owner really doesn't care. So, but what ends up happening, what I noticed, is that cars will drop someone off and they'll park in front of my house. And then they, you know, they get in their car and they leave, and they'll leave it there for 1, 2, 3 days, you know, 4 days. And then when I have guests come over, you know, they're looking for parking, or if I'm gonna clean, you know, my driveway or something, I wanna park, I only have like 2 cars, right? So I don't have a driveway problem or anything, but I like to park in the street, so I can clean my house. Unfortunately, you know, these people I chase, you know, I sort of walk, they're driving like even past, you know, Broadway and Main, I've got on my bike. You know, these cars will stay there for days.
So when you mean they've been there for days, they've been there for days, you know, permit parking?
No.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm asking you, because I noticed, or some of my neighborhood does have, some blocks do have permit parking, but my block is not.
So just to answer that question on a real technical level, the state of California requires us to do block by block. So we can do a district, as you see here, and then each block has to come to us individually to request what they want on their block. We can't do it like, if, let's say you make a request on your block, I can't apply it to her block or somebody else's block. It has to be your block specific. Now, if you get a lot of the residents together in different blocks, you come in at, you know, at the same time, we still have to treat you as a block captain for yours. And for, let's say, for her block, it still has to pass individually. We can't get around that because it's a state of California rule. So we can explore different things to do, how different things in this process, but we're still limited by what the code allows us to do. And that's one of the restrictions that we have.
I noticed that my problem has kind of risen a little bit because, you know, I noticed ever since these big blocks, you know, car complexes, you know, these developers, they're getting variances, you know, their parking, right? So that affects even my neighborhood, they're driving from, you know, cross town. I don't think they care.
And that is part of this process. That's why we want your comments like that. That is part of one of the items on the scope of work, to take a look at development and how that affects our neighborhoods.
I feel like I'm stuck in the corner, you know, I got settled in next to me, right?
Correct.
And then you get these others from way outside that are coming into my neighborhood.
And those are the comments that we need for the scope of work. Like Nabil was saying, this is just the beginning process of getting your comments, putting it together, and making and revamping this whole permit parking program. Everybody's input.
I thought it was just, you know, kind of, I have a friend that lives towards the downtown area as well. And he was saying the same thing. He goes, you know, there's those big blocks of apartments, names, goes, man, I can see this. Because I can't even move my car.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, it is one of the items in the scope of work already. So you're touching on some of the things that we've heard from other people in different areas of the state.
I mean, I feel as a resident of the city that, you know, the city can allow me to farm apartment complex. We could provide adequate parking and not get into good complex.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. But, you know, I don't think I'm.
Correct.
No, you're making very good comments. This is what they want to hear.
Those developers, they go away.
True.
Or they put their money, you know.
Well, I want to say thank you for having us. Thank you for hearing us. We're going to be here till the end of the meeting and everything. If you want to make more comments or you need more space to make comments, please let us know and everything. I think comment forward and
Well, we look forward to having you come back.
I'll make myself available. And then Christy, you're next. Yeah.
Well, another thing, thank you, Frank. One of the joys of last year is after sitting in numerous council meetings, hearing it many times, and seeing the can kicked down the road, unbelievable amount of time. Christie, with a lot of help, was able to resolve our contract with waste hauling. And I'm very pleased that the Republic got the contract. And we're now talking about how we're going to transition to that. Christie?
Thank you so much, Carl. Long time coming. Took a lot of years, but it was really worth it. And I think you're going to be really happy with what we've come up with. So why don't we jump in? We have a lot to cover. I will, you can flip to the next one. Oh, do I have to flip it?
Do it.
You don't mind?
Just matter of
Right there.
finding.
Thank you. So we have a lot to cover, but I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but really get into the high points that'll make a difference to everybody. So I'm not going to I'm not going to run through every one of those things, but it's all important. Residential multifamily neighborhood programs. My favorite slide, clean city initiatives. Wait till you get to that one. Some benefits of partnering with Republic Services and what's happening next. Go ahead. Okay, so the background. As Carl said, we finally got a contract on August 17th. We're excited. Republic Services. We have two representatives here, Tanya and Michael, that also can answer questions later. We have a 10-year agreement with a 5-year extension option. And then, first of all, I want to say Republic Services is the second largest waste hauler in the nation, and they service a variety of other cities in Orange County. Now, this contract is subject to what's called a Proposition 218 process. It involves a public hearing. We're going to first do a huge notification to all ratepayers and property owners. And so if you want to object or protest, there's a process that's identified in the notification. And if you participate, and then there will be the public hearing on April 5th. Things to know. The first thing, your service day will remain the same. We're not going to change your service. And I think that is a good thing. Anybody who is a residential cart customer will continue to have their billing through the city utility billing. All commercial billing will be performed by Republic Services. You're going to see new trucks, new carts, and new bins, which is really quite something. With those new carts, we're going to deliver service guides. It'll talk about all the programs available to residents. And then Republic Services is opening a nice office in the Wells Fargo building on Main Street. Right now, they're doing some tenant improvements, but pretty soon it'll be open. So it's convenient for anybody who wanted to pay a bill in person or ask any questions. This is really important. Republic Services is hiring. Please spread the word. They need all kinds of things, drivers, mechanics, maybe some office people. So, that's really key. Now, the next thing is one of the biggest changes in California is organics recycling changes. This is at the direction of the state of California, and we're just doing our implementation the best we can here in Santa Ana. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. It's called Senate Bill 1383. The title is Short-Lived Climate Pollutant Reduction Strategy, which is a whole lot of big words, but what it really means is they're trying to deal with the greenhouse gas emissions that occur when food waste, food, soil, paper, and yard waste breaks down. So here we have a new program that is beginning July 1 with all the services, and we're going to tell you how it's incorporated in our program. So we're just going to run into the curbside program. So these are the new carts. As you'll notice, they're all different colors from what we have right now. And that's because the state mandated a change in colors. So the organics, which used to be yard waste, is green. And that's the combination of yard waste, and food, soiled paper. Your recycle cart, instead of the whole thing being blue, it's just the lid. Trash is charcoal. We picked charcoal for all of the carts. Now, the carts are offered in 3 different sizes. Now, when we originally rolled out the 3-cart program in Santa Ana, we rolled out all 96 gallons, all the largest ones, because we wanted to make sure everybody had the maximum capacity. So that's mostly what people have, but you do have options. And we tried to give you an idea of what the capacity is. So in a 96 gallon, you can kind of put in 10 bags of trash, right? So it depends on what size family you have, what you may want. Now, let's jump to the next one. So let me just talk about rates really quickly. So all customers will get 3 carts for $22.94. I think it's a little bit less than that right now, but it would be going up normally anyway, because every year we have a CPI increase in our current contract. So this is very much in line with where we would have been. And we have a whole lot more programming and benefits in the contract. So we feel pretty fortunate. Now, if you have a larger family or you generate additional waste, there is an extra charge for each additional cart. So Additional trash carts are $5.85 a month per cart. Recycling and organics are now $2 a month each for a cart. Then the other thing we have is this is something that's existing, the senior/mobile home low volume customer curbside service. Let me explain what that is. If you live in a mobile home or you're a senior and in your house, there's only 2 people or less, so that's a requirement, you can get 35-gallon carts. Those are the smallest ones for $17.82 a month, but there are no additional carts allowed in that program. And that's something that you'll be able to sign up with in utility billing at the city. So our next communications, we are sending out a cart mailer to all of the curbside residents. And the reason we're doing it is we want to let you know what we have on file as far as how many carts you have. And we want to make sure that that's how many you want and offer you an option to change. So you're going to see a mailer. This is actually the back side of the mailer that shows your address, how many carts you have, and for what type. So trash, recycle, and organics. So you're also, there's a little red date up there. We are sending this out, as you see, over a 16-week period. And the reason we're doing that is because when we roll out the brand new carts, it's a 16-week process. We are so big that with the city is broken up and we're going to target each one. So we'll do a mailing to what's coming soon, and you'll have a certain amount of time identified on that due date to either you can call in, you can go online, there's a QR code included in the mailer that you can just scan and fill out all the information online. It's a really easy process. So then we also were sending out an initial mailer that just kind of identifies the programs. I'm going to talk about them tonight. Okay. So what I want to say is we tried to make sure that we got more services rather than less. We had good programs we want to continue with. So the bulky item pickups, if you remember, we used to have 2 times a year, up to 4 items each. Now it's 4 times a year, up to 4 items each. We doubled how much you can get rid of with a bulky item pickup. We continued the curbside used motor oil and filter collection. We continued the universal waste collection and the curbside holiday tree collection. We've had a Sharps by mail program that it's a mailback program, and you get 4 free containers per year, which is really a good capacity. We also offer walkout service for disabled at no charge, which is a lovely benefit. But also, if you can't do it because your work schedule doesn't allow you, or you just want it for convenience, we have a rate built in there that you can ask for as well. You just have to pay the fee. We have new programs. We have annual compost, paper shredding, and annual household waste drop-off events. We used to have those every 2 years. Now it's every year. So, you know, clean out the stuff in your garage, get rid of those pesticides, the extra paint, whatever you want to do. So neighborhood programs, this is really important. You know, we have the neighborhood bins that the associations can reserve and do cleanups. We're continuing that program. We know how wonderfully successful that is. In addition, though, we're really excited about this. Each neighborhood association has the option to receive up to 14 automated containers located in spots that can be serviced within your neighborhood. They will be serviced by the residential truck that goes through and services your neighborhood. They'll also be steam cleaned inside and out every week, which is wonderful. So you know they're going to remain clean. We are very shortly sending out communication to the neighborhood association contacts. And what we're doing is we're saying, are you interested? If you are, here's a form that you need to fill out. We need you to identify the spots that you want to place the containers. We're putting together some guidelines on how to choose those spots. And what you'll do is you'll send us in this list. We'll have someone go out and make sure it's serviceable and appropriate, and then we can move forward with that. So we're really excited about that because it's just another way to keep litter off the street. Okay, this is my favorite. And actually, everybody in here owes a big thank you to Nabil Saba, because he is the one who brainstormed this. He was so focused on trying to make sure that we had extra services in the city to keep things clean. They're going to be doing, Republic Services will be doing abandoned item pickup. So you know how you have the My Santa Ana app, you can take a photo and report it. It'll automatically go to them. They'll take care of it, and the report gets closed out. So it's really quite lovely. And look at how much they're going to do. Two-person crews, 8 to 5, 6 days a week. That is going to have a nice impact. The right-of-way trash containers. This is similar to the neighborhood association containers. 250 of these placed in the public right-of-way at spots we identify that need them. And they'll have their service each week as well. They'll also be steam cleaned. So the next thing is hardscape cleaning. They'll be out there doing some hardscape cleaning, maybe some pressure washing, cleaning up areas in the city. So there's quite a bit of, look at all those hours every year that they're going to put in keeping Santa Ana clean. The sidewalk, curb, gutter, power washing, that's self-explanatory, but boy, that's going to make a difference too. The porch services, 2 crews that go out and do things like they'll collect litter, they'll wipe down things, clean up some graffiti, do some other things. So it's quite a lot of cleaning, isn't it? And then we always had every other week alley cleanups with the current contract, but we're going to have now every week cleanup of the alleys. So we think that I think we're going to get things cleaned up, and it's just going to stay clean because there won't be an opportunity for it to accumulate because there will be so much happening out there. So multifamily, commercial, industrial. You're now obviously going to see new bins. For public services, color is blue. And then the color of the lids is mandated by the state of California again. So you'll have organics, which again is yard waste, food waste, and food, soil, and paper, recycle, and trash. Now the food waste container down there, that's only food waste, and that's typically for food service providers, restaurants, hotels, things like that. And then a roll-off bin for anything. And they have multiple sizes of roll-off bins. So whether you're doing, a garage clean out or a construction project, you would get all of these kinds of services through Republic. This is really important. And actually I meant to mention it back when we were on the residential page. So with all of the carts and the bins, they're going to be, one company is going to be coming out on your normal service day after the service, and they're going to be picking up the waste management carts and bins, and they're going to be installing Republic carts and bins. It's going to happen on the same day. Could happen anytime between March and June. Again, because we have such a large city that we have to do it incrementally by areas for residential, and then for commercial, they're really going to do it based on bin size. So they might roll out all of the 1 and 2 yards first, then the 3 and 4 yard bins, and then maybe the larger bins later. So it really depends on how that works for their delivery, but it's very focused, but it's a big process. So what happens is waste management is going to service all of the new carts and bins until right up and through June 30th. So I just want you to know that. Okay. Now what's going to happen when you get the carts is you're going to get a lovely program service guide, identifies everything you can, save it. It's really going to help you for anything you need to do in the future. We'll have phone numbers and resources and all that. Additional services. This is for commercial, multifamily, and industrial, because that organics mandate is big. And there's also other compliance mandates, like another assembly bill that requires multifamily and commercial recycling. So Republic Services is going to have recycling coordinators that's going to go out and meet with all the businesses in the multifamily and help them to plan for and implement fully compliant programming. So everyone will end up having some sort of organics collection. Again, they'll provide construction and demolition debris collection, temporary bin service. So for instance, if you're cleaning out, your backyard, your garage or something, you need a small bin, that's great. Multifamily bulky item pickups. So we have never had free multifamily pickups of bulky items. And so now we have listen to this one, 10 per unit per quarter at no charge. Should make it so much easier on these locations. It's all, it has to be scheduled, but it's a wonderful benefit. They also have holiday tree collection. Did I miss something else? Oh, for commercial, the state organics law also requires that we do food recovery, or that we help connect businesses that generate food to like food banks and things like that, so that nothing goes in the trash that's edible. It goes to someone somewhere who can use it. So partnering with Republic Services, again, they have a local hiring initiative. So if you know people who you know, drivers, mechanics, admin people, anyone else, have them start checking out republicservices.jobs. Okay. And then they're also offering student scholarships and internships. We'll see what those look like, and we'll let everybody know when we have those put together. They'll be doing charitable giving to local entities. There are facility tours that can be scheduled at their Anaheim facility. They will have 100% clean fuel fleet, which is wonderful. They're using all renewable natural gas. That also is a requirement of the state of California. And then they're going to put in the first electric collection vehicle. We haven't seen that before. So we're excited to see how that works and see what that might mean for the future fleet. So again, the transition timeline, you'll see delivery and removal of bins and carts starting in March and being done by the end of June. Waste Management will continue to provide the service. Call them for any requests until June 30th. After that, it's all Republic Services, and you'll be able to call their customer service. But remember, service starts July 1, right? 4th of July is a Monday. And you know what happens on a holiday on a Monday? For only the 6 major holidays, and this is one of them. So they're going to service one day, and then they're going to have a holiday, and then we're going to have service delayed. So it's going to be Tuesday through Saturday of that week. Just wanted you to know. Any questions? Did I do a decent job? Do you have a lot of questions? Oh, no, thank you. I'm very happy. Very happy. What can I answer for you?
I'm not sure if you answered this question, but I've been calling Waste Management for over a month, every week, because my containers are in very bad condition and they're not being replaced. And now that we found out that we're getting a company, is there anything you guys suggest for me to do with these very old recycled containers that I have?
So first of all, you're right. There are huge supply chain issues everywhere. In addition, you know, so they've ordered a number of containers, but they're not necessarily arrived, or they're arriving in smaller increments. And so I would take your name and phone number and address and see what I can do to help you. But just so you know, again, when the new carts start coming out, you're going to be delivered new ones, and your old ones will be removed and taken away. So you won't have to do anything about that. But please see me after this, and I'll get your contact information and I'll follow up. Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to say something really quickly. It's been tough in the last many, many weeks because Waste Management drivers have been out in an enormous number for COVID. It's been horrible, and they've been doing their best, and they continue to get everything picked up. I know that one week they did not even collect the recycling. And the reason is because they couldn't collect the commercial recycling the week before. So they had to collect the commercial recycling, get it caught up, and then slowly build back and catch up. So we had something very unique. For 1 week, we said, all that extra recycling, put it in a bag and put it next to your recycling cart if you have to, right? Because what's happening is everything will be picked up, but it was delayed. Now, things are looking good this week, but there still are occasional delays. And some of the bulky items, they haven't gotten picked up for 2 or 3 weeks, because what they're really trying to do is get the trash out. So if you have problems, I'm available. Give me a call, call Waste Management and let them know about the complaint. And then if it doesn't get fixed, call me. Okay. So I just want to know, we're going to try to get you through. Go ahead.
Please, microphone.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I know.
Okay, Desi, again, I'm with Westwood Condominiums, I'm a board president there, and I'll give you some, if you're in a commercial property or condominiums, get to know your site manager, okay? Establish a relationship with him or her, and if anything goes wrong, that's the first person I contact. I'm done with service calls with waste management and stuff like that. I get better results by having a relationship with the manager of the area. I take a picture, send it over to him. If it's not picked up, because they have been missing a lot because of COVID. But, you know, you establish a relationship, you get service. So that's worked out really well. Condominiums, I see that now we have 3 bins, right?
Yeah.
So what happens, I saw there's constraints, you know, space constraints. How are we gonna work that out?
It's on a site-by-site basis. So what's gonna happen is those recycling coordinators from Republic are gonna come out. They're gonna look at your generation, they're gonna look at your site, what kind of space you have. And in a lot of cases, your waste stream is not changing, right? You still have the same waste stream, but it may be broken down differently. So maybe instead of having, you know, depending on how large you are, 5 trash bins and 2 recycle bins, you might have 4 trash bins, 2 recycle bins, and an organic. Okay, so they're going to look at right sizing you and making sure that you have enough capacity still, but it's broken down based on your waste stream. Yeah, it'll be customized.
The charge for the barrels, is that just a one-time charge?
No, okay, so you're not paying for the carts. You're only paying for the monthly service. The $22.94 is for the standard monthly service.
So
On your
that's an every month charge.
actually, on your utility billing, you're billed 2 months at a time. So it'll be $22.94 times 2, but yes,
All right, thank you.
yes, absolutely.
Good question over here.
When Republic comes out to the multifamily dwellings, are they gonna talk to anybody or they're just gonna look for themselves?
They should be contacting somebody.
They
So
should be contacting
yes,
somebody.
yes,
Okay,
whoever
all right.
is, whether it's a property manager or if there is no property manager or
I mean,
building owner.
but how do they get that? Are they getting that information from?
We have commercial billing information, which multifamily falls under from waste management.
Okay, and I just want to make one more comment.
Sure.
At our multifamily dwelling, our recycling wasn't empty for a month. So.
I'm really sorry.
So you had a week, you were like.
But also,
I understand.
if you have an issue, let me know.
And, but I was, I kept calling every single day and they kept saying, we're coming out today, we're coming out today. Finally, this one day, I got a young man named Daniel and he says, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't know when we're coming because we have a staff shortage. I said, well, thank you for
He
being
was,
honest.
he was honest, and I'm sorry because that's what they should do.
We are fortunate that we have a couple of representatives from the public, so I'm gonna let them. Do you want to text? Go ahead.
Good evening, wonderful residents and community members of the city of Santa Ana. My name is Tanya Castaneda with Republic Services, working closely with the city to ensure that you have all of these wonderful services and programs available to you. If there's anything you ever need, you have my personal contact information. I have my business cards with me. And as community leaders, we're really excited to work with you and partner with the leadership here in this room to get the message out to everybody. So really looking forward to meeting everybody. I'll leave my cards on the front and feel free to call me or email me if you need anything. And I'll hand this off to Mike.
So, yeah, I have the fun job of working with all the charity and community organizations in town, so very much want to continue our involvement with all the various organizations. I've got a pocket full of business cards as well. Love to get you our information. We've already started getting involved in some of the different charities and organizations around town, and happy to share a little bit of that with you, but I'm gonna need some help with some referrals, and I'm sure there's a few folks in this room that aren't shy. So look forward to talking with you, and we're just so pleased to be here. That Clean City Initiative is a very progressive idea for waste and recycling in California, and if you added up those hours, that's just a cool thing. And I can tell you that surrounding cities are just jealous. So anyways,
That's
kudos
for
to all
certain.
of you in this room.
Thank you. Christine, do you have anything else to add?
Does anyone else have any other questions? We had some questions here. Let's see. Neighbors with tagged bins, like graffiti. So those are things that you'll be able to report on the My Santa Ana app, and actually you can do it right now. So we'll end up getting those taken care of. Let's see. So bus shelters, I'm not talking about bus shelters yet because Nabil is going to talk about that presentation next, so I'm not going to spill his beans. And that will, I think, still protected bike lanes. And let's see, yes. I'm going to end this question. So anything else? You have one more
I do
question?
have one question. If neighborhoods have already scheduled dumpsters to be delivered, do we have to reschedule that again?
No.
Okay, so our dumpster day will not change regardless of who's doing it at what time.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly, because it's coordinated by neighborhood improvement,
Right.
and that's at the city office, and so it doesn't matter which hauler it is. You know, it's gonna be waste management through June 30th, starting July, it'll be Republic, we'll be communicating with them and working on that schedule. Anybody else, or are we good?
Well, I just gonna say, we're, because of the lateness of the hour, we're gonna postpone the other presentations till next meeting. But I also really want to thank you, Christy. You don't realize how hard this lady worked. And yeah, she gets a salary, but keep her over and above.
Thank you.
I've been teasing her boss about giving her a bottle of champagne to support. I think it's gonna be 2 bottles by the time we're done.
I'm up for that, but I just want to say thank you, because, you know, I was in the waste industry for a long time, and I've worked here for almost 15 years, and it's just really been very important to give us what we deserve, and we got it. And I'm really excited, so I can't wait to transition. And listen, I want to say, there's gonna be a hiccup here and there. Transitions are always a little rocky, so I'm gonna ask for some grace right now and just say, try to help me be patient, call in with questions or concerns, but just know we're gonna get it right. It just might be a little bit difficult once in a while, okay?
Very good.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
So can I have the Mayor Pro Tem just say a few words? Thank you, Carl. Good evening, everybody. I love coming here to Comlink, but really tonight, the reason why I wanted to come was these superstars here for Public Works. If you guys could give them one more round of applause. Honestly, when I first got elected, my background's in land use and planning, and I thought, gosh, I'm gonna light up Min Ty's phone every day. But joke's on Min, it's really Nabil. And Nabil operates at all days, all hours, and all of you, I'm sure, hopefully all of you are using the My Santa Ana app. So keep it up because it's a wonderful app. I see the results. My wife and I, we walk our Stanley Pup every morning, and when we do, I'm out there snapping pictures and reporting graffiti, and I see the results. So it definitely works. One thing I just wanted to touch on, just because this was personal for me, when I ran for council, one of my biggest pet peeves was the parking program here in the city. Because what I saw, and I would tell people this, it was like Hunger Games. It was one street got it, and then everybody else was just ravaged. So then the next street got it, and then the rest of the streets were ravaged. And so it was important to me. And so for those of you that follow the council meetings, we can request items. And so this was the item that I requested. And thankfully, my colleagues on the council supported it because we all see and know how important this issue is. And so for some of the comments that were made tonight, you were singing to the choir. I loved it because we need to look at it from a neighborhood-wide perspective. You really do. We have a program that's 30 years old. Of course, it's got to evolve. And what I appreciate, though, about what Nabil and his team are doing is they're not just having a knee-jerk reaction. They're taking the steps to make sure that we're analyzing this, looking at other cities, finding best practices and applying them here. But we're not going to do that. We'll probably do it better than them, but don't tell them that, okay? But in all honesty, please get your comments in. We really need to hear this because I think Frank said it, it's like he lives the picture, but you guys are living the movie. That, Frank, you couldn't have said it any better. It's very true. We all live it day in and day out. We see it in our neighborhood. So please get your comments in on that. Only other thing I would add is Tuesday we have a council meeting. So please go online, take a look at the agenda. And again, if there's anything that you need, please come talk to me. I have cards. I'll give you my email, my cell. And other than that, I just want to wish everybody a good night, but I'll be sticking around if you have any questions. Thank you. We have one more request. As I mentioned, there is redistricting going on in the city. Please take a look at the maps. We have one gentleman wants to speak about one.
Well, I want to echo what Carl said. This is a really, really important issue on the redistricting, right? So every 10 years when the census is redone, it triggers a process where we redraw the lines on a statewide basis for our counties, our county supervisors, but more importantly here at home, our ward lines are getting redrawn. Even though we went through this process 2 years ago because of a lawsuit, this is the census-driven one. And I really encourage everybody to participate in Tuesday night's meeting. Is that the final public meeting that we're having on redistricting?
It's actually, we've had multiple public hearings. By law, we're required to have so many, but we're right now on Tuesday, will be our 6th public hearing, and it will be at 7 o'clock sharp. So even though the council meeting begins at 5:45, or we will stop what we're doing at 7 o'clock to conduct this.
So very briefly, the city hired a consultant who drew up a couple of maps, but the process allowed for residents ourselves to go online. Is a really advanced software system to allow us to draw. And there's laws that really are in effect that will dictate how these should be drawn. But despite that, there's 40 some odd neighbor proposed ones. That up until a couple of days ago, there were 4 by a consultant. There's letters. It was actually A through E, but there was one map that was drawn by a neighbor. I don't know who because they're anonymous, but it has been elevated up to a letter. It has the letter F. And I encourage you guys to take a look at that one because that map hits every single criteria in an apolitical fashion, right? This thing should not be driven by politics. It should be driven by certain very fair criteria. And this map has the following elements, which are really important. 1, it gives one district a plurality to the Asian community. 2, it keeps the northern communities, neighborhoods all in sync, right? The consultant wanted to draw a line between West Floral Park and Floral Park. And the reason why that's a violation of law is because one of the most important criteria is community of interest. You want to keep communities that share the same interests together. And here they were just excising, which to me was purely driven by politics, my humble opinion. Number 3, F also keeps the southern neighborhoods all together. And most importantly, again, because it's not political, it doesn't pit any current sitting city council member against any other council member. So you'd hate to see Penaloza now fighting against Nolita over districts that they're now coupled into because of the residency. So it keeps everything together. So take a look at it. If you want to hear a really good analysis, go to last city council meeting. But I encourage you, please write a letter, go on Zoom, show up. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to unabashedly promote map F. Please, please.
Thank you. And it is, you can attend it by Zoom. You can submit any questions before 4 o'clock on Tuesday or any comments you have at that time. But this redistricting is very important because it will fit the city for the next 10 years. I'm Nabil, do you want to say any closing? And I personally want to thank him. And like I said, we didn't get to the full agenda tonight, and he's willing to come back and for the other 3 items that we missed. But I do want to thank, you can see that there's lots of things going on in public works, trash haulers, redoing the parking permit, which again, has been talked about for years, it's finally getting done. And thanks to this gentleman.
I just like to thank Carl and Comlink commissioners and representative for being here, inviting us, and the promises we will come back and cover those 2 items that we didn't have time for. They are important. One of them is the updates on construction projects, which I know you guys need to know about what we're doing in the in the streets and in the parks. So we are very busy. Just last Tuesday, we had a meeting with our construction team, and there's about 41 projects that we are working on right now as we speak. So we are very busy. I'd like to share that information with you and what we are undertaking, what we're building for you. Construction of streets is very challenging in the city of Santa Ana because the age of our city and the fact that we are coupling improving the city along with improving the infrastructure below the water and the sewer. It makes it much more challenging and much more complex project than it used to be where we would go in and just pave. Now we are digging the street, we're replacing the pipelines and dealing with all the complex underground. So just be patient with us. We'll give you an update next time. In the same time, we have an update on the bus shelter. The bus shelter contract was awarded to a company called Focus Media Group. And I wanted to share that information with you. I know there's some questions about the maintenance of the bus shelters. This company will be maintaining every single bus stop 3 times a week, changing the trash, cleaning the benches. And we also have 45 what we call hotspots, where those will be serviced 5 times a week. One of those times would be on the weekend, either a Saturday or a Sunday. We're very excited about this program. In addition to just the maintenance, the company will be painting and refurbishing the green bus shelters that have existed for many years. So I'm looking forward to this is a really exciting program. Me and Christine and the group here, because it is an accomplishment. It's we worked really hard to get this company in. They have quite a bit of experience in other cities, and we'll give you that update next time. Good night.
Again, thank you to all the city employees who attended tonight, and Nabil for supporting us, as well as the silent person over there who hasn't said much tonight, but Marguerite, she's the one who keeps us going, right? Our next meeting will be February 24th, Thursday, or Thursday in the month of February. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and we're meeting adjourned tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.